I remember one film I auditioned for, I said I could drive stick shift, and I couldn't really drive stick shift, which the director obviously found out later as I ground the gears down in the car to almost nothing. When you have a situation go on in your life that you wish it wasn't the way it was, you fight against it. I mean, the initial instinct is to push back and to rebel against the situation. For instance, when my son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, I fought back in prayer, and I fought back kind of in a way of denying it, not believing it to be true. I mean, I knew it was true, but I just felt so strongly that God would heal him that I didn't choose to do anything about it at the time. I chose to just keep believing and praying that God would make him better, because I would go to all these therapy sessions, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, multiple appointments a week, and nothing would improve. He wasn't getting better. So I went through a phase where I just kept believing he would be healed, and he wasn't. And he still hasn't been so far. I feel like we get like that in life sometimes, where we're so angry at something that's going on in our life or something that happened to us that we don't acknowledge it. We don't do anything about it because we're so shocked, it's so unbelievable, or we don't know what to do. So after I saw the video, I realized it needed a little more of an explanation. Me not wanting my son to have cerebral palsy, I was kind of in some ways denying it. So when I talk about lying and when is it ever okay to lie, it's not okay to lie to yourself about your situation. It's okay to believe, to believe for a miracle, to pray for a miracle. But when you lie about your situation and what's going on in your life, you don't make the right steps always to get help. And you don't do as much as you can do about the situation if you're lying to yourself that it's not happening. So sometimes it feels incongruent to believe for a miracle, yet have your feet on the ground with reality and what's really happening. But we have to do that, and we have to walk in both worlds. We have to walk in the world of, this is the diagnosis right now, and this is what I'm dealing with. Yet at the same time, I can still pray and believe for a miracle and not lie to myself that this is not really happening or not really going on. Does that make sense? Okay. Can the truth hurt you? That's such a big, wide open topic, but is it ever good to tell a lie? Of course, there are certain times when lying is preferable. If a burglar breaks into your house and you know your kids are hiding and he asks if anyone else is in the house, of course you're gonna lie. You're not gonna tell him where your kids are hiding. You don't want them to get hurt. But when it comes to putting your best foot forward, some people feel like they need to lie because people won't accept the truth. In the entertainment industry in Hollywood, many people feel like they need to lie about their age or their experience. Or I remember one film I auditioned for, I said I could drive stick shift, and I couldn't really drive stick shift, which the director obviously found out later as I ground the gears down in the car to almost nothing. But I had a situation last week where I was coaching one of my girlfriends who was looking for a job, and she's been having such a terrible time trying to find a job that she wasn't getting hired, and she figured it was because she didn't have enough experience on her resume, and she had gaps of time where she wasn't working, and that looked bad, that she would only work here for a couple months or here for a couple months. And so she fabricated how long she'd worked at these places. It might have only been 3 months, but she would put 2 years so there wouldn't be gaps on her resume. And I was encouraging her, just tell the truth. Hey, it's Katherine. As I was watching that video about is it ever okay to tell a lie, I didn't feel like it was complete, so I wanted to add on a little bit to the end. So as I was encouraging my friend to tell the truth on her resume, it's because when you tell the truth, there is a freedom in that. There's a freedom where you operate differently. You operate from a different place and you don't feel like you're a fraud. You don't feel like you're pulling one over on somebody. You are not walking on eggshells like I might get caught. You know, when people call to check your references and you put that you worked 2 years at a place you only worked 3 months, you're going to be found out. And I'm not telling you to tell the truth just because you could get caught. I'm telling you to tell the truth because walking in integrity has a different feel. It's a lighter feel. You have a more of a, yeah, it's freedom is the best way I can describe it. There's not fear waiting to get found out. In the beginning, when I said that lie to that director, because I really wanted that acting role, the truth was found out because I nearly destroyed her vehicle, the director's vehicle. So I didn't really even gain that. And that movie, I spent like 2 years working on that movie for free, and the movie never even came out. So it was like a fraud. It was like for no purpose. And yes, if you're in a dire situation, like the robber one, of course you're going to not tell the truth. But when it comes to your everyday life, you need to get to the point where you're always like the truth is what really counts. The minute you start lying, you start having to keep track of all the lies you've said and who you've said the lies to. And that is no way to live. It brings in a sense of fear and anxiety and not knowing what you're going to say to who and when and what you said. So it's just so much simpler to tell the truth. And my friend that wanted to lie on her resume, she just wanted a job, and she thought lying was the only way to get it. And she's not had success that way. Yes, she would get hired, but it would never last because she would have this underlying sense of doom, like what if they find out. So that would be how I would cap off this video. Obviously I shot it a couple years ago, but I think the message is clear. Sometimes it is okay to lie, but I would say 99% of the time, we just have to tell the truth. And we shouldn't feel bad about our lack of experience or whatever it is. So, okay. Take care, guys. Hey there, it is Katherine Norland. I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys think that this video would bless somebody else or if they need to hear it, please hit the share button. And there's a little bell button too where you can be notified whenever I have a video that comes out so you don't miss a thing. I appreciate you guys. Remember, always live true, love hard, shine bright, and I will see you in the next video.